Bonjour, and welcome back to French Detours. I'm Tracy Parent, your guide to the regional specialties and hidden gems of France. You know, as much as I love to explore the various regions of France, Paris will always hold a special place in my heart. There's just this energy, a grandeur that is really difficult to describe. Of course, people come to Paris to see its iconic monuments, La Tour Eiffel, Le Louvre, Notre Dame. But we always want to find that special little hidden quality that no one knew existed. That can be really hard to find in a city this size. You need someone on the inside. And that's exactly what my friend, Lane Rosenthal of Paris Off Script, can do for you. Let's meet her now. Welcome, Lane. It's so nice to see you again.
Thank you, Tracy, and it's great to see you too.
And your company is called Paris Off Script. What does that mean?
Thank you for asking. Simply put, it is not Paris classique. It is the unusual things in Paris. Specifically, it is a travel experience that is immersive in the culture of Paris, in particular, and France in the larger sense, that veers well off the beaten path. And it is for people who enjoy travel as a cultural experience rather than as tourism. So the British philosopher G.K. Chesterton said, "The traveler sees what he sees, the tourist sees what he has come to see." And that for me has been the difference.
That's a lovely analogy. I love that. So what kinds of experiences does a tour usually include?
We do deep dives into the neighborhoods, the arrondissements, that are méconnus, less well known among tourists for whatever reason, because people don't know what exists there. They don't know if it's safe to go to the 19th or the 20th, for example, or there's a language barrier. And we do, we spend a day exploring a particular area that can include a chocolate or an art atelier. It can include a unique expo. Sometimes we go, if the timing is right, it works out, we go to a salon. These are big conventions, and they're extraordinary because they're so much fun, first of all, and you learn a lot and you sample lots of good things like chocolate, which there's one in the fall. There is also a Salon du Vin, a wine salon, and there's the agricultural salon in the winter. So interspersed in our explorations of neighborhoods, we do fun things like that.
Okay, amazing. So do you go to any of the iconic sites at all? The Louvre, Eiffel Tower?
You know, I referred to Paris Off Script as an exploration, an immersion in the unusual. So this is not Paris classique. You don't need me to find the Eiffel Tower, as you can see, looming large behind you. And so I felt that it is much harder to find and learn those things that are just as unique to Paris, but are not as well known. So the only opportunity, if it arises, that we may find ourselves in an iconic place is, for example, I had a group of music majors, and we went to hear, or we're going to hear, a concert at Saint-Chapelle. That is a major site, but it's accessing it in a very different way. No lines, no crowds, and sitting in that magnificent space listening to classical music. But by and large, we stay away from the big sites where we're rubbing shoulders with other tourists.
So you're mentioning groups. Does that mean that I have to, if I have a large group of people that want to come, or tell us more about your group dynamic?
One of the things that distinguishes me is that my groups are limited to 5 people. That is by design. We are an intimate group of wanderers and explorers. It creates esprit de corps among us for 5 days. And it's also very manageable for the places where I go, which is places like small restaurants, very tiny restaurants, people's homes, difficult to do that with a group of 20.
Mhm.
And it just feels like I want Paris to feel for people, which is on that more intimate level.
Okay, so if I'm thinking, especially if I'm an independent traveler, I can sign up and I know that I'll be with other people who are like-minded. I don't have to sign up as a group of 5, correct?
Exactly. Actually, I find that one of two things happens. Sometimes a group will come to me fully formed, whether that is a book group or a college alumni group or a family. They come to me and they say, we've got 5 people, we're ready. That's wonderful. Other times it's a group of non-related individuals, and it tends to be female-centric. Women, that's another niche, because women travel by themselves for various reasons. They like to be by themselves, but not entirely alone. And I provide them that opportunity where they feel safe, comfortable, and women bond together in a 5-day period very differently. I had questions of, do I keep a mailing list or a waiting list? And it depends. If I have a fully formed group of 5 people and one person has to cancel, I will not put a stranger in with that group. It's mixing oil and water, and it's not fair to anybody.
And can you talk a little bit about meals and accommodations?
I would love to. Yes, it is all inclusive. One of my taglines is, get your ticket, pack a bag, I do everything else. And I literally mean that. It is all you are out of pocket is your plane trip. It's your plane fare, getting there and getting from your respective airports. After that, every meal, every night, 6 nights in a boutique hotel, every event we do, everything is covered, every meal. And I should point out that I don't pre-select menus. It just, everything is done for you. You are there to enjoy it. And I've had people say, gosh, I've never reached for my credit card even once. It's all included. Transportation is included in that. Everybody gets their own Navigo card, which you keep and is then good for 10 years. So everything is included.
And so how many trips do you usually take a year?
I live in Paris 3 months of the year, and they are the off-script times of the year, which is to say everything but the summer and the early fall. So my trips are scheduled for late fall, winter, which is February, late February, and the very beginning of April, before Paris gets too crowded. And there's one trip always scheduled, but sometimes because I'm there for the month or 6 weeks or 8 weeks, I always try to push it as far as I can, I'll have the opportunity to accommodate more than one group.
Okay.
April, for example, was 2 groups.
Okay, great. And I bet being in the off-script times, you have a little bit more access to the city. It feels a little bit more like it's your own place to wander.
I tell people, and they find this hard to understand, my favorite time of year in Paris is February. It's wonderful. We feel like we have the city all to ourselves, which is unique in a city like Paris. It's one of the most visited cities in the world. And to feel that it, for that week, is yours is wonderful.
So you seem to have all of the insider tips. How do you find your hidden gems?
That's a great question. As I mentioned, I spend a lot of time there, but I am very curious, I'm very energetic, and I speak French. I think being able to speak French has allowed me to penetrate the culture because I live there so much during the year. I've developed community there, and community in friends in the French community, not the expat community. And I'm constantly educating myself. For some reason, with all these things, I have incredible luck in Paris. Things happen to me. I open myself to the city and the city opens itself to me. But which is how, it's kind of like following the breadcrumbs. I follow my curiosity, the breadcrumbs, and lo and behold, I've uncovered something, or someone in my community will share something with me. Paris is like an onion, and the more you peel back the layers, the more you realize just how much there is. And so I'm continually educating myself as well. Paris is not static. I try not to be either. But I think it ultimately boils down to the time I spend there and the fact that I am absolutely passionate about it and want to know as much about it as I can.
I'm ready to, my bag is packed, I'm ready to go.